it is an absolutely interesting time in the crypto market, or crypto market is doing wonders right now. We are watching a lot of these assets doing big numbers. If you've been in the market for last couple of months at least, you're already watching a lot of these assets running hard, doing like 100% move in last month. So you are getting that idea that market is blowing through the roof. If you are positioned well enough, you are about to see big moves in your portfolio. And when I say that with honest opinion, and my trades, I share them, right? You guys see when I open a trade, you guys see when I close or skim my profits in a trade. So this is like, most recent trades. You look at the current price of these assets, you will see them. Why am I sharing this? Because on the other end, you look at the XRP and say, we are not doing anything. There is something behind it. If you look through all these other charts which I've opened for you here, you will see why that is and when we will start the next leg up. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, we're going through a lot of different things. We're having multiple trades which are hitting 100% plus. Now, we have a lot of others which are already 65, 70, 75, some 40, some 30% up. And most likely in 2 to 3 weeks, we would see all of them reaching 100%, while these reaching maybe 150 or 200. So the opportunity zone in the market is still active. But the idea or the question is, what is XRP doing? It's not moving. Fine. We discussed about this in detail, about different aspects of this before, and tried to give you guys an idea about this. But now look at this. Say, when you actually take a look at Fetch or its top last time, what it has done last time, you see like, okay, we are somewhat like in this range. We're somewhat here this time, right? We have this leg, or we here, we have this leg. Whatever, you have something up there. And that's where you top off for the wave 2. Great. And that time was like early March. Then you see AKT or Akash network. You see that was running up. And at one point it started slowing down. Big correction, divergence came and all that happened. When was that? That was late Feb. So late Feb, early March, you actually had a lot of assets reaching the local top in 2021. Now, if you take that to a different setup, not just one segment of the market, but say a VAX, which is like the smart contract side of it, right? And you actually see this range becoming a resistance there by Feb. So Feb and March, you saw a lot of assets topping off. But you go back down there on the same duration of early Feb, late Feb, early March, you see XRP was at the bottom. You see XRP was making this signal, but it was not seen as a bullish one because it was not a pretty look. When all the others were running crazy, you were stuck in this range. It was not a good look. I agree. But after that, you took off. Now, what the hell is really happening? People are taking profits from these assets. They are moving it into assets which haven't moved, but they still have strong fundamentals. For some reason, this is the case if we go on to the price of XRP a long time back. A lot of other assets were running through the roof in this range here. You go look at 2016 and early 2017, you will understand what I'm saying. And then people started taking profits in them, and XRP started moving to the upside. So it's actually easy, it's simple. The level of patience you need if you only have XRP is going to be a little bit higher than the average Joe. This asset gives you decent ROI, but it kind of, plays with your emotions, your psychology. As an investor, it kind of shakes you through the roof. But the RSI suggests that you're close to a support. You are not watching for painful drop to the downside. That is not the case, right? And now when we say this, we share this, I would like to also say, like, we know these kind of things were possible in the market. That's one of the reasons why we were riding through that, right? The SI family is growing as fast as possible because of these things. The market shows you a entirely different segment of opportunities. It's in smart contract, it's in AI, it's in smart contract, it's in AI. You look at a lot of different legs of this market and you're like, okay, this market is complex. It's going through the roof. See, some of these assets, look at them. They are up like 70% for the day. Some of them, which are like, are better in fundamentals and market capitalization, they are kind of up 16 to 20% for the day, but 50% for the week. So ordinals, the BRC is actually kind of, getting a lot of attention here. Then you're watching some of the late runners in the AI segment starting. So they are up 12% for the day. And it's just starting, right? You're actually watching how the money is moving from one asset to another, from one asset to another. Say StarJ. It's a it's a competing asset against like Ether, where you can also put like Qtum and others. They are performing. So when you look at all this, it's a clear signal for you to say, okay, last time it was playing out like this. Now, where the hell are we with AKT right now? This is something serious which I'm highlighting in my thought process here. Because last time when you reached here, you came through something. What was that? A big divergence. The price going up, but the RSI didn't agree with that. And at one point, it continued going higher, but the RSI dropped like crazy. Fine. So before that, you were going up, 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 up. RSI was going up. Great. But something changed during that time. Look at this. You're going up, 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 but something just changed. You actually did something like this. So I'm like, okay, maybe you only have one more leg here, and then you slow down. Then you may slow down and then again go for another try, whether that can put another all-time highs or not. This is right now visible on a daily. Yes, it's a daily, it's not a 3-day, it's not a weekly. So you don't have 100% odds for that asset top. So now you go back and you're looking at the weekly to give you the best odds. So here it shows you weekly, the price is going up, RSI is going down. That was the top. That was huge. Now the price is still going up. The RSI is here. Now, if it breaks to the upside, yeah, you will see one more leg. Agreed. But this one more leg which happened back then as a top was when XRP was also moving. This leg was when this topped off and profits were moving in and out of this asset to other assets. So that's just one asset. Now you go look at, say, smart contracts. This is a VAX. February 2021, early Feb. You kind of top off. You slow down, you consolidate, and then you break below that. And that break is something you need to understand. By that time, XRP, XLM, they did their top. They went up, they hit all those targets. So while it was consolidating in this phase, people were moving off. So then the question becomes like, okay, where the hell are we right now? I would personally argue you actually did this and you're going for this. Look at this. I mean, if you are actually someone who focuses on the price action, you would say the 1, the 2, the 3. The market is showing you something similar. You're coming towards that region, that range. After that, what happens? Boom. The price slows down. Yes, it's not happening on a day. It takes some time, but you get the point. So we're going to actually reach this range soon, because from here, it's just a 100% move. It's not a huge price action which we are discussing about. Yes, from the bottom, that was like a 20x move. But if you look at what it has already done, it is like a 4x move. Now you plot that and say, okay, we may do a 10x here or a 15x. It's coming soon. You go on a weekly again for the same asset and look where the hell we are on the RSI. You are at a level on the weekly chart where you have been close to your top. So maybe you have 2 or 3 weeks in these assets. It may actually do these kind of a leg up. Done. you may see a corrective leg coming in. Then wave 3 is going to be doubtfully. You want to literally look at this and ask the question, okay, what are we watching? The wave 1, the wave 2, and all these corrections, then wave 3, are we watching that? This is serious because you're actually looking at the market with a lot of different narrative, asking the questions like, okay, we had this pattern, great. We broke that to the upside. What's our measured move for this, right? If you're actually pulling in these kind of movements here, you're taking this and it's like, okay, 500% move to the upside. So we plot that and say, okay, that's not something bad. You can actually do these kind of numbers. That's a 3x from here. But how long it would take? Maybe a month or two? That's it. You're topping off in that. That's one of the reasons why I've been arguing like most likely XRP is not going to do big moves by mid-Jan, late Jan. That's an area where I think we may actually see XRP starting to do something. Because right now you don't have a divergence in XRP. Yes, RSI is going down, but the price is also doing that. So you don't actually have a big divergence there. So what we are looking at is like a daily chart. We move on to a 3-day chart and it's giving us the same idea. It's like, okay, this is the pattern. We haven't actually changed anything here. So if you are becoming bearish on this asset and moving on to different assets, you will be surprised. But again, if you don't jump back in at the right time, you'll miss this boat. But if you are really good with the TA, you're doing fine and you're actually smashing those, now it's okay. You're going through the market, you're making the return, so it's not actually hurting you. We have the assets which we are doing there, but the idea is you need to know what the market is showing you. At some point, things changes. At some point, there is a breakout, and then you do a retest and you continue to the upside. So while other assets attract liquidity away from a lot of large caps, people would jump off the ship. But then when they are peaking, you need to understand if they are already up massively and with just one more pop, they are like up in a region where it's a profit taking region. Now, I would personally argue 10x is already a decent profit taking region. So if you do get this, that's a bounty or a bonus. But most likely, this region, people in this time frame would assume that 10x is not a bad deal, especially when you actually see a divergence on a weekly chart. Because then you actually go on to a monthly chart asking the question like, do we have a lot of upside? And you're like, okay, there is a possibility that it can still go up on a monthly. So what if we have a corrective session and then go up? That's still possible because these are kind of a little bit newer assets. You don't have extreme price action to learn and absorb. But when you go into the market, you get to see these. Dollar. It's falling from the cliff. That's the reality. We talked about this when it was at 104. Right now, it's below 102, 101.83. Then you're looking at the news, the narrative, and you're like, okay, that structure is happening. We're looking at the fundamentals. We are looking at the economy as a whole, and we understand how things are moving. This doesn't actually look a lot cool. And then on the crypto end, you're watching news like this coming in. I'm like, okay, Ether is about to outperform Bitcoin in 2024. Or in other words, altcoins are going to do a big run up. That's a big thing. If Ether is to run about $10,000, $12,000, then you're going to watch a lot of these altcoins popping through the roof. You should look at them, understand what they are showing on a macro chart, and if they're just getting started, ride that wave. Why would you miss that when you're already here in this market? If you haven't heard about crypto during this time, okay, it makes sense, but not now. You have Standard Chartered as a bank saying 100,000 for Bitcoin. You have Bitwise saying 80,000 for Bitcoin. So a lot of people are actually putting the argument like, okay, we are going another big leg up. So you really don't want to miss these kind of a run up. When you're looking through them, you're actually understanding the fact that, okay, this kind of actually takes you through the idea where the macro floodgates are being opened into the crypto range. And it is happening in front of us. So when you go through all of this, yes, we have discussed about this. We know about this. I'm not breaking those down because we already understand how things are working. So a lot of people who are new to the market, who are doubting this asset, will take some time and maybe some mistakes and then learn. But if you're already here, you're trying to learn from other people's mistake. If that's you, all that I've explained is actually going to be huge for you. Now, if you haven't smashed that like button yet, I would actually argue, please do that. That supports this channel a lot. And if you are looking to join the Scientific Investor family to ride on these waves of assets, which we are also riding, then look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below, where you can reach me and do the one-on-one session as well. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.